I just noticed that she's a little bit exposed, so I'm gonna cover up. There we go. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I have the 1/7 scale figure of Ushijima by Native. This figure is illustrated by Erimo, who is one of my favorite artists from Japan. And if I'm not wrong, this figure is based off the model Ushijima. And as you can see from the design, it's very aesthetic. However, since this is from Native, it is NSFW, so I'll try to make it safe for your eyes. Anyway, let's get started. I picked up this figure secondhand from Mandarake. She was open and indicated to be in good condition. I got her for about 21,000 yen, which is more than her original price of about 16,000 yen. Although I wish I'd gotten her at her original price, I don't think I can find her at any better price. The last I checked, a decent quality figure of her was above 24,000 yen. She was originally released in 2018, but I only managed to get her in 2022. Although it's been so long, I only opened her in 2024 when I moved into my current place. So this recording was from back then, but I'm finally putting this video together. Anyway, here is her box, which reveals very little about how this figure looks like. Well, it's NSFW, that's why they can only put abstract prints of this figure's design on the box. Despite that, it's very artistic looking. Inside, I first have a set of instructions in Japanese with an English translation. Inside the single blister package, I first have the base with a very cute creature with an orca in its mouth. Next, I got a fluffy dog, followed by 4 sticks with beads on it, and a spare undergarment. Next, I got this very elaborate looking ribbon. And last but not least, the figure of Ushijima Iiniku herself. And that's all the components that comes with this figure. Now to assemble her. For assembly, I've set Ushijima on her base first, so I don't damage her while leaving her lying around. Below her heels, she has 2 holes. This aligns with the 2 metal pegs on the base. She slots into her base quite easily, so that's great. She is supported only on 1 foot, but because this figure is quite upright, I hope there isn't any leaning issues. Next, for assembly, we have this little fluffy pet, which I think is a doggy, and he's supposed to be plugged into the 2 holes on the back of the base. Here is the base with the 2 holes, and here is the little fluffy doggy, where there's 2 pegs on his feet. So this should align with the holes on the base. Okay, so I'll attach this on. I think one of the peg is bigger than the other, so that corresponds to the size of the holes. And he fits perfectly. It looks like he's playing with the ribbon on her shoes. That is so cute. The other accessory to attach is her very elaborate looking ribbon. And that goes into the peg at the back of her skirt. So let's put this on. Here is the peg on her skirt. And here is the ribbon with the hole that should attach to this peg. Her skirt is actually cast off and you can remove her undergarments, but I kind of prefer displaying her with her clothes on because it's a lot more fashionable, and I bought this figure for the design of the clothes. It's super artistic looking. Her ribbon is quite difficult to push in. It doesn't feel secure. Even though it's all the way in now, it still feels a little bit loose. Not sure why. I think that's because the peg is actually the joint of the skirt, so the shape is not perfect to fit in the hole. I just noticed that she's a little bit exposed, so I'm gonna cover up. There we go. Okay, I have attached the ribbon, and the last thing to attach are these little beads on a stick. There are 4 holes in her ribbon, and these little beads should slide into them. It feels quite fragile, so I'm gonna try to do this carefully. For the first 2 holes, they can be found at the back of the ribbon over here. They're a little bit hard to spot, so Hope you can see it. Let's put in the first one. The instruction says there's supposed to be 2 holes there, but to be honest, I can only see one. So I'm not sure if mine's missing a hole. Anyway, I'll just assemble the other one first. On the other side, the holes can be found below the ribbon over here. And I can clearly see 2 holes, so I'm gonna slot these ones in. These sticks are so fragile and I'm really afraid to snap it. I think that will do. Now let me attach the last piece. And here I have the sticks assembled into the holes which I can find. I'm really not sure where the other hole is, so I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, I think I found the hole. It seems to be at the bottom of this ribbon, in between this little gap over here. It's very hard to spot, but there's like a white little hole there, so I'm gonna try push it in. The black and white images in the instructions don't really help in this process. Okay, it fits. And here is Ushijima's skirt with all the little accessories attached to it. This figure also comes with an extra spare part for her undergarments in case you break the one that she has on. But since I'm not removing it, I'm just gonna keep this as a spare. With that, I have the 1/7 scale figure of Ushijima based on Erimo's illustration by Native, fully assembled. Although this is an NSFW figure and can be cast off, I really prefer displaying her with her clothes on because of how artistic this looks. I pretty much bought this figure because of this design. Her very slender sculpt and alluring pose is just chef's kiss. At 1/7 scale, she's about 23 cm high, which is quite short, I feel. But despite the size, this figure has quite a lot of nice details on it. Her face has a very innocent looking expression with a somewhat pouty face, which is just adorable. Her hair is quite simple and with light shading. This allows the hair accessory to stand out from the figure. Moving down, her skimpy outfit shows off her very slender shape, and it's covering the right places to make her look very attractive. I love how the frills on her skirt are sculpted, and the artistic ribbon just adds a flair to it. Lastly, her thigh-high socks. They are adorned with very cute looking symbols of traditional Japanese items, and they give a pop of color to this figure. Her heels are also very lovely, with bells on them. And her base is quite unique. It features a seal, I think, with an orca in its mouth. I don't know the context, but I love it. All in all, this is a really artistic piece, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. I do hope that we get more figures of Erimo's illustrations. I already got the Strawberry Shortcake Girl by Erimo, and she looks just as gorgeous. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Despite the price I paid, I have no regrets. This is a stunning figure in terms of both color and sculpt. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Although I love this figure, I kinda hate the assembly process. The thin sticks gives me anxiety, and that peg for the ribbon doesn't fit snugly. Anyway, if you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like and subscribe with notifications to stay tuned to more videos. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!